Hello students, this video of Microorganism Friend and Foe Part 2 is brought to you by Aryabhat National Public School. Microorganisms or microbes play an important role in our lives. These effects of microbes on human beings will be discussed in this part of the video. Microorganisms have a good effect on human beings and have a bad effect also. Those microorganisms which are beneficial for human beings are called good microbes, and those which are not beneficial or do harm to human beings are called bad microbes. You can call them bad microbes or or we call them pathogens or germs. First we will discuss about the good microbes. The microbes are beneficial for us in various ways. In preparation of curd, microbes are used in bread and cake, baking of bread and cake. Microbes clean our environment. By converting organic waste into harmless and usable substance. Microbes are used in preparation of medicines. Microbes increase the soil fertility by fixing atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. All these effects we will discuss in detail. What are the different uses of microbes? First, in food, we have categorized them in food and beverages industry. How microbes are used in food and beverage industries? Making curd. Microbes are used in making curd. Lactobacillus is a bacteria that is used for making curd. Making bread. Yeast is used in making bread. Making idli, dosa and dhokla. When we are preparing the batter of idli, dosa and dhokla, yeast are used. Production of alcohol, wine and acetic acid. Yeast are used. There is a term named fermentation, called fermentation. What is fermentation? Conversion of sugar present in food items by these microbes. Conversion of sugar present in food by yeast into alcohol is known as fermentation. This is a very important term, fermentation. This fermentation was discovered by a scientist named Louis Pasteur in 1857. Now, these were the uses of a microorganism in food and beverage industries. Microorganisms are used in health sector also. Microorganisms are used in making antibiotics. What are antibiotics? Antibiotics are medicines that kill or stop the growth of disease-causing microorganisms. Bacteria and fungi are used in making antibiotics. For antibiotics, you have to take care while taking antibiotics. You have to take antibiotics only with the advice of a qualified doctor. And when you start taking antibiotics, you have to take a dose there is a prescribed dose of antibiotics. If you will not take the prescribed dose, the microorganism will grow stronger and stronger in your body. Therefore, it is advised to take the antibiotics with advice of a qualified doctor and complete the course of that antibiotics. Microorganisms are used in making vaccines. What do vaccines do? Vaccines carry microbes that in a controlled manner. These microbes are injected in our bodies and they produce antibodies to fight the microorganisms, the disease-causing microorganisms. These vaccines play an important role in our lives. They protect us from different diseases, and these vaccines are made by the microorganisms are used to make vaccines. The first ever vaccine was discovered by a scientist Edward Jenner in 1798. He discovered the smallpox vaccine. Microorganisms are used in obtaining vitamins, especially vitamin B complex, and making insulin. In agriculture, microbes are used for nitrogen fixation. There are different microbes that are used for nitrogen fixation. A bacteria named Rhizobium bacteria. In class 7 you have learned about the Rhizobium bacteria. That Rhizobium bacteria, what it do? It lives in the nodules, root nodules of leguminous plants, and that absorbs atmospheric nitrogen and convert into nitrate. Some blue-green algae also fix atmospheric nitrogen. In cleaning in the environment, microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, protozoa clean the environment by decomposing dead organisms. They break down plant and animal tissues into simple substances which are restored to the soil again. Microorganisms are used in biogas productions. Some other industries are also there where microorganisms are used. Bacteria are useful in tobacco, leather and jute industries also. All these were the good microbes. We use microbes in, let us summarize once again, we use microbes in food and beverages industries, in making curd and cheese, making bread, making idli, dosa and dokla, manufacturing of alcohol, manufacturing of acetic acid. In health sector, we make antibiotics with microorganisms, we make vaccines, we make vitamins and insulin. In agriculture, microorganisms are used for nitrogen fixation. In cleaning environment, we use microorganisms. These microorganisms clean the environment by decomposing the dead organisms. We use microorganisms in biogas production and in leather, tobacco and jute industries. There are some microorganisms that are harmful in many ways to human beings. These microorganisms are called bad microbes. You can call them bad microbes. We call them pathogens. We call them germs. They are the cause of many diseases in human beings. Not only in human beings. They cause diseases in plants. They cause diseases in animals also. Disease causing microbes are called pathogens or germs. To cause disease, the germs have to first enter our body. They enter our body in the following ways. How they enter our bodies? They can enter into our bodies through air. If a person is suffering from cold or cough, if he sneezes, germs are released in air. If a healthy person is near and inhale that air, he gets infected. Therefore, they can be transmitted through air. Through food and water. They can be transmitted through food and water also. If you are keeping water somewhere and that is open, germs can enter into that. If your food, you did not cover your food, flies sit on some dirt and then can sit on your food also. Through this, through food and water, like this, from food and water, these microorganisms enter our body. Through direct contact with a sick person, microbes can enter through the direct contact with a sick person. If you shake hand, if you share some cloths, if you are eating together, through this, if you are having direct contact with a sick person, microbes can enter. Through insects. How microbes enter through insects to our body? They can insect through mosquitoes. Female Anopheles mosquito carries the malaria germ. Female Aedes mosquito carry dengue virus. If a person through insects, from mosquito, from flies, germs can enter our body. Through cut and wounds. Through cuts and wounds also, germs can enter into our body. Disease that is spread from an infected person to a healthy person. Earlier we discussed how microorganisms, disease-causing microorganisms enter our body. The disease that is spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, food, water, or by physical contact are called communicable diseases. There are a lot of diseases. Some diseases happen Some diseases are not communicable diseases. Some diseases are deficiency diseases. These diseases are not communicable. But those diseases which is spread from an infected person to a healthy person through all these means that we have discussed earlier, through air, through food and water, through direct contact, through insects, are called communicable diseases. There are some diseases that are transported from one person to another person through these insects. Those insects or those animals that carry diseases causing organisms. These animals are called vectors. Vectors. Mosquito, housefly, all these are vectors. Disease carrying organisms. Microorganisms not only cause disease to human beings only, they cause disease to plants and animals also. Anthrax disease in cattle, foot and mouth disease in cattle, rust of wheat, citrus canker disease in fruits, etc. are some common diseases that are due to the microorganisms that happen to the animals and plants. Here there is a chart that is present in your book also, textbook also. Common diseases, causative human diseases, microorganisms that are responsible for that disease, mode of transmission, and preventive measures. How can we prevent from these diseases? If you are the first disease is tuberculosis. Bacteria is the causative microorganism. Due to bacteria, this disease happen. Mode of transmission is air. If somebody is suffering from tuberculosis, if you are nearby him and if he is sneeze or he cough, the microorganism come outside, and when you will inhale that microorganism, that will cause the disease will be transferred to you. The same way, measles, chickenpox, polio. The measles, chickenpox and polio is due to virus. The air and direct contact. Air is a medium mode of transmission for all these diseases. What is the preventive measure? Keep the patient in complete isolation. Keep the personal belonging of the patient away from those of the others. You have to isolate. If anybody is suffering from these diseases, tuberculosis, measles, chickenpox and polio, you have to completely isolate the infected person from healthy persons. You have to keep all the belongings, that is the clothes. We cannot share the clothes, we cannot share the even space, even the room. Therefore, you have to complete isolate them. There are some diseases like cholera, typhoid. They are due to bacteria, and the mode of transmission is food and water. Hepatitis B, virus and water. Malaria, protozoa, and these vector, this mosquito. Some common diseases caused by microorganisms. Plants, the citrus canker disease. Citrus canker disease. Which microorganism cause this disease? It's bacteria. Mode of transmission is air. Rust of wheat. It is caused by fungi. Mode of transmission is air and through seeds. Yellow vein. This is caused by virus, and insects transmit from one place to other place. There is only one topic left in this part, is food poisoning. What is food poisoning? If we keep food for a long time, that food gets spoiled. And if somebody eat that food, it can cause serious illness. And that illness is called food poisoning. Microorganisms are responsible for spoilage of food also. They spoil our food. If we keep our food open, if we keep our food for long durations, that food is spoiled by microorganisms. And if we eat such kind of food, that food causes a serious